Hey, what's going on, guys? Happy Sunday. So, it is magazine review video. So, we are about to dive in. But just before we do that, I did get a few pickups I want to bring up to your guys' attention. So, a few days ago, we did get in some new Zombie Sailor figures. I said I wasn't going to do any more Zombie Sailor figure reviews, but maybe if you guys want another Zombie Sailor review video, yeah, these are the figures that came in. So I could do that tomorrow if you guys ask me to do it in the comments section. Awesome, man. I also got a couple of these guys for the review. Oh, man. You guys remember that Ultimate Warrior figure? That one was like the most valuable freaking figure to get from this particular line. What were they called? They're a darn bootleg company, so what were they called? Ebonine. That was the company. They're like a sort of Remco style company, but they're like bootleg. They didn't come out with a whole lot of figures. They came out with like a couple of demolition style figures, and I mean, this head, that's like an Ultimate Warrior head, so that's not even original to that figure, which I already knew that. And even the seller, he even listed it, Ultimate Warrior head with demolition body. So they came out with a couple demolitions. They came out with an Ultimate Warrior, which was super rare, super expensive, and they came out with the Hulk Hogan, and that was it for the wrestling Ebonine figures. But to come out with to find an Ebonine demolition body, I guess it's easier to always swap out the heads, so I wanted to make sure I picked up that. I didn't want to miss out the chance to grab that. And I mean, there's some other randoms in here I picked up. I mean, these came with a bunch of other stuff, Hasbro's, Galoobs. There was like a really nice Undertaker BCA figure I picked up, so I kept that. I finally got my Marty Jannetty. I mean, he's kind of destroyed a little bit, but I mean, at least now I get to add him with Shawn Michaels and complete the Mat Mania. So that's nice. Now all I need is to pick up some more of the wrestling tapes for the Mat Mania and really complete that part of the Remcos. So, but at least the Remco Lewis figures are complete. And I did order some clothing for the figures as well, so that, like the Shawn Michaels over there, he'll actually have a shirt covering as well. But let's dive in with the magazine. And the last one we did was March of '88, so we are on track with April of 1988 with Hulk Hogan. And this is an absolutely spectacular magazine already. This is a killer look. And then pretty much anything that's Hulk Hogan related, I'm going to be excited about, because he is, after all, my all-time favorite wrestler. In this issue, Elizabeth at home, Tony explains the rules, and DiBiase disagrees. Alright, Hogan's title stolen. A vengeful giant takes the belt with a little help from his friends. Alright, so update. I did film a couple of weeks in advance. The Tuesday shows, the Wrestling Superstars, LJN reviews. I filmed the Series 5 review for Tuesday. My laptop computer crapped out on me about 27 minutes in. I decided I wasn't going to waste that video, so I refilmed from that point moving forward. So I filmed the next 39 minutes. And my goal was to try to see if I could somehow combine the two videos into one. So far, I have not been able to do so. I'm not going to refilm that video. So chances are I'm probably going to end up posting two videos on Tuesday if I can't figure out how to combine the two into one. I've also filmed my Series 6 review already, so if you actually seen the updates or the pre-schedule, you actually see the schedule for April 15th already up. So Series 6 is already pre-scheduled, so that's awesome. And in those videos, I actually talk about this exact moment where Hulk Hogan squared off against Andre the Giant back in February of 1988, where he lost the title belt due to interference from referee Earl Hebner. So I'll talk about that a little bit more in this magazine review as well. WrestleMania IV, inside details, Hulk's plans, Ultimate Wear, Matilda. I like Matilda. I like those little bulldogs, man. They're adorable little puppies. I don't think bulldogs and pit bulls, man, they do not get enough love. Or Great Danes. I don't know how old I was. I had to be about like 12 years old or something. 12, maybe 13 or something. And I remember going to like an animal shelter and we were looking at some dogs. I turned around and I was staring eye to eye with this freaking massive beast. Now, I mean, I'm not tall. You know, I'm like 5'7", right? And at 13 years old, I mean, I had to be roughly my height now, but maybe a little bit shorter. But let's say I was roughly 5 feet 5 inches tall or so, give or take. I don't know. And this sucker on all four legs was probably my height or taller. I mean, like I said, I'm staring him right in the eye. I've never seen a Great Dane before, you know, up until that time. And that was not a freaking dog. That was a freaking horse. Those darn things are huge. But Great Danes are freaking cool as hell. And Huskies, man. I love Huskies. I think Huskies are some of like the most beautiful dogs in the world. Only bad thing about Huskies, those suckers will not shut up. Oh my God. Gorgeous animals. They're just super freaking loud. Oh my God. They just sit there and they sing to you all day long. I couldn't stand it. Oh man. All right, let's get into the magazine, shall we? Sheer excitement. Brutus the Barber Beefcake. Alright, so he's already the barber by this point in 88. I thought it was closer to 89 when he became the barber. So it looks like he was already the barber in early 88, so that's nice. Like I said, I'm kind of like comparing like LJN, right? So I always knew Brutus as the barber. And I mean, it makes sense, probably. So around 89, 90, he was definitely the barber when I was fully engaged in wrestling. So yeah, I could see him being the barber around 88. It makes sense. Do I want to read the fan forum? Oh, Outback Jack. So there is I think I've talked about it before, where there is a Outback Jack with like an LJN figure with like a sort of darker brown, you know, vest to his action figure. So I've talked to Ram Treasures already, and I think Net is going to try to customize a darker brown vest for me. And that is one of the prototypes I am trying to add to my Tuesday show. And, you know, Coco Beware, where he's not in red, but the original prototype where he's in like in all blue. That's one of those prototypes. Or the Series 5 Hulk Hogan, where he wasn't originally in a red shirt or white shirt, but where he was actually in the blue shirt. That's one of those prototypes I want to add to my Tuesday show when I get into the prototypes. And that's going to be expensive. I'm hoping I'm able to get a break, and Net's able to work with me on that. But those are some of the variants that I'm hoping to pick up from her shortly. All right, WWF list. Every wrestler has his favorite finishing move, the one that he relies on most to take out his opponents. WWF Magazine has surveyed some of WWF's top mat men and asked them about their favorite finishers. Here are their answers. I want to start with Billy Jack Haynes because I'm interested in this character. The full Nelson. It's funny. Most people that think of the full Nelson is a starting hold, not a finisher. Maybe for other wrestlers it is. I guess I've been fortunate enough to build up my upper body to the point that I can get the full impact out of the move. You can't be lax when you apply it though. You have to come up right behind your man, lock your fingers behind the neck, and not only squeeze him, but swing him. Let's see what Nikolai has to say. All my opponents will tell you my most painful move is the bear hug. I grab the guy most of the time, skinny, punk, or big. Fat capitalist, American fool, and wrap arms around his body and put pressure right. Fat capitalist. I'm glad I picked Nikolai. Oh, God. Wrap arms around his body and put pressure right on ribs. If he not give up right away, ribs break. Oh, God, that grammar. I imagine me as an English teacher. That would drive me nuts. If he give up. Oh, Jesus. Maybe I break his ribs. Anyway. I'm starting to really love Nikolai, man. This is awesome. Just to show superiority of Russian athlete. You know, I'm thinking Nikolai might start to be one of my top 10 favorite wrestlers now. I'm really hoping that he really said this and this isn't just some editor who put this stuff in there, because that's awesome. Let's see, Brutus or Rick? Let's go with Rick Martel. Lately, I'm very loyal to the Boston Crab, the hold I used to beat Jim Neidhart when Tito Santana and I won the tag team title. When you apply the Boston Crab properly, you lay your opponent flat on his stomach, but bend his legs up toward his head. Yeah, that's boring. Of course, we all know about Boston Crab because I used to use Rick Martel constantly in the video games, right? And that was always his finisher in the video game. I don't remember which video game, but Rick Martel, I feel like he was always in wrestling games in the early 90s. WrestleMania IV. Oh, yeah. So, WrestleMania IV, the 14-man tournament. The inaugural episode, I think it was called The Main Event. And probably a couple weeks before my 3rd birthday. So this had to be... My birthday's on the 19th of February. So I don't know. Maybe... Let's say the 5th of February or somewhere around that time frame. Early February 1988. The main event had its first episode, and it featured Andre the Giant taking on Hulk Hogan. And the match was supposed to have, one of the senior referees, Dave Hebner, officiate the matchup. But kayfabe, nobody realized that Dave Hebner had a twin brother. And the storyline was that the $1 Million Man had paid off his twin brother, the evil Earl Hebner, to ref the match. So they locked Dave Hebner in like a supply closet or something, or locker, I forget what it was. And Earl Hebner was the official for the matchup. And so during the matchup, right at the end, Andre the Giant was pinning Hulk Hogan. Hogan's arm was completely off the mat, and still Earl Hebner was counting the 1, 2, 3. And Andre the Giant had won his first heavyweight title. And then here comes Dave Hebner storming out of the locker room to confront his twin brother Earl. And, they get into it and whatnot. And Hogan sees what's going on. He grabs Earl Hebner, he picks him up and tosses him out to the aisleway. I love the freaking interview that Hogan was doing with Mean Gene Okerlund afterwards. And the whole scene where he was like, about how, he was, he saw the money coming out of his pocket and everything. And I'm like, how much did he pay him? I'm like, I don't remember actually seeing money, fall out of his pocket. But the whole interview itself was freaking brilliant. I love that. Now, obviously, it's 1988, right? There are many things that were going on at that time frame. Namely, you had so many, new wrestlers, new storylines that the WWF wanted to new storylines that they wanted to put out, and new people that they wanted to put belts on, etc. That's one thing I had that was going on. Number two, and this is the big thing as well. Well, actually, let me skip that real quick. Number two. Oh darn, got something in my eye. Number two, Hulk Hogan had been champion for 3 years in a row, 4 years in a row, something like that. I mean, I don't know if people were necessarily getting over Hulkamania at that time, but I mean, he had been champion forever, so that's another thing to consider. Maybe people were getting tired of him. Maybe they wanted to see someone else as champion at that point. I don't know. I mean, who would really want to get tired of Hulk Hogan as champion? I mean, he was an amazing, champion. I mean, he put butts in the seats, and he sold merchandise. So, but number three, and this was the huge one, is that it's 1988. What was popular in 1989? No holds barred. He was either getting ready to film or he was currently filming the movie. So he obviously couldn't be an actor and in the process of filming this mega movie and, perform his duties as a champion and still be actively wrestling at the same time, right? So that was probably the biggest thing, is that he had to give up the belt in order to film, his role as an actor and whatnot. So that kind of led up to Andre the Giant winning the title and then sort of selling the belt to the $1 Million Man. Well, Jack Tunney, president of WWF, was like, no, you can't sell the heavyweight title. So they had to vacate the heavyweight title belt. And this is what always made me mad about it. Andre the Giant was the superior athlete his entire career. Why was he not a champion at any point previously? Why did they wait to a point where the man was so unhealthy, where his body was in complete failure, to finally put a belt on him? Where he was like, I mean, he's going to go down in history as the worst heavyweight champion in history. And that's so completely unfair, because the man is a legend. He will always go down in history as a legend. But basically, he was a one-day champion, essentially. And that's a shame. But he sold the belt to $1 Million Man. They vacated the title. So the only way to put the belt on someone else, in WrestleMania IV, they had this 14-man tournament, right? And at the end, who was left over? The $1 Million Man being one of them, which was pretty awesome. And they also had the Macho Man Randy Savage. And, Macho Man became the new heavyweight champion, which was freaking awesome. I'm loving this face paint on Demolition. That is so freaking cool. I'm just flipping through these pages as I'm talking, man, and this stuff is so awesome. I gotta get me one of these Warrior LJN figures, man. Like I said, I loved Ultimate Warrior, and something came out, and there's just so many awesome paint schemes, especially for the Warrior, that when they come out like different figures, right, you want different characters, but at the same time, it's like there's certain characters that have so many great looks that you just kind of want them all. The main event, WWF World Title up for grabs. See, I've got a couple of these, both WWF and Hasbro customs with the $1 Million Man in that suit. So that is one of my favorite figures. I think Virgil, you know, he played his role as well, distracting Hogan as well. That helped Andre basically defeat Hogan. Andre. That damn belt's so damn small. He wasn't, that belt wasn't going to wrap around his waist. Yeah, look at that. I mean, his arm wasn't even a little bit off. I mean, you're talking completely off the mat. I mean, it couldn't be more obvious. Oh, God. Get him. Oh, shoot. Savage beats Honky. Yep, got that LJ of that Honky Tonk Man figure too. Oh, was this the picture I saw of Honky Tonk Man before where I'm like, if they make this Honky Tonk Man LJ, I'd be okay with that? I don't quite remember. Ian's dog by fear. That is such a great title. What the heck am I seeing here? What the The match promises to be a bruising contest in which the Bulldogs and Coco will have to be constantly alert for a sneak attack. Damn, Coco's flying. That is a terrible outfit, though. Yeah, that singlet does not do him justice. And I think just a few more pages. We're winding down. Never knew Liz played the piano. Let's see, do I want to read the lowdown or the wrap up? Trying to see if anything's valuable here. Wrestler's rebuttal. I was cheated by Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man. I am the rightful WWF World Champion. I was given the title by Andre the Giant. Wow. I own Andre the Giant, so I own the title too. All you poor little people out there are probably happy that Jack Tunney took my title. Wow. Where'd I leave off? You won't be happy long. I'm going to get the title back in WrestleMania IV tournament. If Hulk Hogan stands in my way, I'll send him out on a stretcher. I'll even go after Andre if I had to. Of course, you sniveling little people out there, I've got an ace in the hole. Yeah, it's probably Virgil. That's probably your ace. Alright, that looks like a good drink right there. I need to know what that is. Alright. And I don't know where this came out of. I'll just throw this back in somewhere in there. Yeah. Alright, so Hulk Hogan, April 1988. Not bad, not bad. As always, guys, appreciate you tuning in. I look forward to talking to you in the comments, and I will see you in the next video. Oh, before I leave, guys, sorry. Once again, tomorrow's video, Monday. If you want me to review Zombie Sailors, those new figures, let me know. Otherwise, I have no interest in doing Zombie Sailors anymore, but I'll do it for you guys if you want me to. So please let me know in the comments if you want me to take a look at them for you. Alright, guys. Talk to you later.